I never thought I'd be the guy posting something like this, but here I am. My name's Mike, and I've been with my wife, Emily, for about 7 years now. We got married pretty young, and for a long time I thought we had a solid thing going. She was the kind of girl who always knew how to push my buttons, but I figured that was just her personality. She's bitchy, she's loud, she's got a sharp tongue, but I loved her. Or so I thought. Things started going downhill about 6 months ago, but I didn't really notice at first. She'd get snappish over small stuff, cancel plans at the last minute, and she'd always have some excuse about how busy she was or how tired she was. I chalked it up to work stress or her needing a break, but deep down I felt like there was more. Still, I trusted her. I mean, she's my wife, right? We're supposed to be partners. That's what I kept telling myself. Then came the day I found the first real sign something was off. It was about 3 weeks ago. I was sitting in our living room, scrolling through my phone, and I noticed her phone was just lying on the coffee table. I usually keep an eye on it because she's always been secretive about her texts, but I didn't think much of it at first. I was just curious. So I picked it up and saw, right there on her screen, a message from someone named Jax. The message was weird. It wasn't anything explicit, but it was definitely flirtatious. Something about meeting up, about having fun, and a hotel room. I felt a cold sweat break out. I didn't confront her right away. I wanted to see if there was more. Over the next few days, I noticed her phone kept buzzing with strange messages, and she'd get defensive if I tried to look over her shoulder or ask about her day. She'd lie slick and quick, tell me she was just texting a friend or that I was imagining things. The thing is, I knew her well enough to tell she was hiding something. She started acting even more bitchy, snapping at me for no reason, calling me insecure, saying I was paranoid. It was like she was trying to push me away, but I wasn't going to let her. One night I decided to dig a little deeper. I got her password, which she'd always kept secret, but I found a way to crack it. I wasn't proud of that, but I was desperate. What I found was worse than I expected. She'd been exchanging notes with this Jax guy, hotel info, dates, times, and I even found a receipt for a hotel booking under her email. It was like she was planning to meet him. I felt sick, angry, betrayed. I wanted to confront her then and there, but I knew I needed to think. I needed to plan my next move carefully because I wasn't going to be played like some fool. This wasn't just a fling. This was full-blown cheating, and my gut told me she had been lying to me for months. That's where I am now, sitting here trying to process what I've uncovered, wondering how someone I trusted so much could turn out to be so cold and manipulative. She's not the girl I married anymore. She's a liar, a cheat, and someone I don't recognize. I don't exactly know what's coming next. I'm furious, confused, and honestly, kind of devastated. But I know I can't just pretend it didn't happen. I need to face her, but I'm not even sure what to say or do. I just know I can't keep living in this lie anymore. So I sat on this for a couple of days, trying to decide whether I should confront her or just pack my bags and leave. Honestly, I felt like I was in some twisted nightmare. I kept thinking about the hotel receipts, the notes exchanged, how long she'd been sneaking around behind my back. It wasn't just one night, it was months. And the worst part, she'd been lying to my face this whole time, calling me paranoid or insecure every time I asked if she was seeing someone else. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. I needed answers, and I knew confronting her would be inevitable. So I set up a time to talk when I knew she'd be home. I was nervous but also furious, like I wanted to shake the truth out of her. When she walked in that night, she looked pissed off, like I was bothering her. Classic Emily. She's always been that way, bitchy, dismissive, a master at hiding her true feelings behind a mask of sarcasm and lies. I told her I knew everything about Jax, the hotel, the messages. Her face went blank for a second, like she was surprised I found out, but then her lips curled into that annoying smirk of hers. "Oh, Mike," she said, rolling her eyes. "You always think the worst. Maybe you're just insecure, huh? Maybe you're imagining things." That was her go-to lie, deny, deny, deny. But I wasn't buying it. I was too angry to listen to her bullshit. Got defensive quick. Started yelling, telling me I was crazy and that I was overreacting. She said she was just talking to an old friend, that Jax was nothing, just someone she'd known for years, and that I had no right to go through her stuff. But I had all the proof right there in my hands. Her phone, the receipts, the messages. And her reaction. She just kept lying and flipping it around on me, calling me paranoid, saying I was ruining everything. She said I was being possessive and controlling. Honestly, she was so bitchy and dismissive, I almost wanted to punch her. I felt like I was losing my mind. I'd never seen her this cold and dismissive before. Her tone was sharp, her words cutting, and every second she denied it all, I got more furious. She looked me in the eye and lied straight to my face, saying she wasn't cheating, that it was just harmless flirting, and that I was making a big deal out of nothing. But I knew better. I saw the messages, the hotel details, the notes she exchanged with that guy Jax. It was obvious she'd been planning to meet him, probably for sex, and probably had been doing it for a while. I realized then that I was done. Done with her lies, her manipulation, her dismissiveness. I didn't care what her excuses were anymore. I just wanted out. The betrayal hit me hard, and I felt this deep hurt I hadn't expected to feel, like I'd been punched in the stomach. I was angry but also incredibly sad. Sad that the woman I'd trusted so much had turned out to be so different from the girl I married. I kept asking myself how I missed all the signs, how I didn't see it coming, and I couldn't find an answer. All I knew was I couldn't stay with her knowing she'd been lying and cheating all this time. The confrontation was messy. She kept yelling, accusing me of being insecure or jealous, which was hilarious because I'm not exactly a jealous guy. I just knew what I saw. I knew she'd been screwing around, and I didn't need her to tell me otherwise. I told her I wanted her out of my house, that I was done, and that I'd be filing for divorce soon. Her reaction. She just shrugged, said she didn't care, and went to bed like nothing had happened. That's when I realized she didn't even feel guilty. She's that kind of person, blame everyone else, lie her way through everything, never admit fault. It's been a few days now since that night, and I'm still trying to process what just happened. I can't believe how cold and callous she was. It's like I was nothing to her, just some guy she married because she thought she had to, and then she decided she wanted something else. I don't even know who she is anymore. The emotional roller coaster is brutal. I've gone from feeling betrayed and angry to feeling sad and lost. I keep asking myself why I wasn't enough, what I did wrong, but deep down I know it's not about me. It's about her being selfish and manipulative. Right now I just want to figure out what my next step should be. Do I fight for the marriage? Do I just walk away? I know I need to think clearly and not make any rash decisions, but honestly I'm hurt and I feel pretty damn broken. Whatever happens, I know I won't ever trust her again. Once a liar, always a liar, right? This whole thing has changed how I see everything, trust, love, what it means to be committed. And I'm pretty sure I'll never look at her the same way again. After that night, everything felt different. I couldn't sleep. My mind kept racing over all the moments I missed, all the times she brushed me off and the signs I ignored. I kept thinking about the messages, the hotel receipts. I kept seeing her smirk when she lied, her dismissiveness like I was some idiot bothering her. It hit me hard that she had been playing me this whole time, and I'd been blind to it. I spent the next day trying to gather myself, but honestly I was a mess. I kept replaying that confrontation in my head, how she just shrugged, how she refused to own up, and how cold she was when I told her I wanted her out. I thought about everything I'd given her, my time, my trust, my love, and how she'd thrown it all away for some guy she barely knew. It felt like I'd been punched in the gut all over again. I decided I had to do something. Not just for me, but for my own peace of mind. I wanted her to feel some of what I was feeling, betrayal, anger, and that crushing sense of loss. So I started planning my move. First, I needed to confirm everything. I knew she'd be coming home that evening, so I set up a few things. I had her phone, her emails, her social media, everything I could access. I wanted to be sure, because once I made my decision, I wasn't going to look back. I realized I also had to prepare myself emotionally. I wasn't just mad, I was devastated. I'd built a life with her, and now it felt like it was all crumbling in my hands. Every memory, every moment of happiness turned sour. I felt angry at her, but also sad for the woman I thought I knew. I kept asking myself how I missed the signs, how I was so blind to her true nature. I thought she was just stubborn or maybe a little bitchy, but now I saw she was a liar and a cheat. That evening, she came home early, probably sensing something was coming. She looked at me with that same bitchy smirk like she thought she was the clever one. I sat her down in the living room trying to keep my voice steady. I told her I knew everything about Jax, the hotel, the notes, all of it. Her reaction. She rolled her eyes and said I was overreacting, that I was crazy for even bringing this up. That pissed me off even more. No matter what I showed her, she refused to accept she'd done anything wrong. She started throwing around accusations about how I was controlling, possessive, and jealous. It was like she was trying to turn the tables. She kept saying I was insecure, that I was imagining things, that I was just paranoid. But I was. I knew the truth. I saw the messages. I saw her lying face to face, and I knew she'd been screwing around for months. She kept insisting she was innocent, that she had no idea what I was talking about, that she didn't even know Jax that well. She kept lying, and I kept thinking, how stupid does she think I am? I've got her phone, her emails, the receipts, and her own words that she was planning to meet him. She was trying to brush it off like I was just some jealous fool, but I was. I felt betrayed to my core. I told her I was done, that I didn't want to hear her lies anymore, that she needed to leave. Her reaction, she just shrugged again like I was bothering her, like she didn't care. That's when I realized she was completely detached. She didn't care about us, about what she was doing, or even about how much she'd hurt me. She was a master at manipulation, and she knew how to play the victim. It was infuriating. At that moment, I knew I had to make a decision. Do I try to save this marriage, or do I walk away and forget her? I felt a mixture of anger, heartbreak, and exhaustion. I never thought I'd be in this position, so betrayed and confused. I sat there staring at her, feeling like I'd been hit by a freight train. All my trust, all my love, felt like it was wasted on someone who'd been lying to me from day one. I felt like I was losing my mind, but deep down, I knew I couldn't keep pretending everything was fine. This was bigger than just some argument. It was about my life, my future, and whether I wanted to let her keep destroying what we had or finally take control and walk away. The next few days were a whirlwind. I didn't sleep much, kept replaying everything in my head, trying to figure out how I missed all the signs. Honestly, I felt like I was caught in some bad dream I couldn't wake up from. Every time I saw her face, I remembered how she lied, how she dismissed me, how she treated me like I was insignificant. It was like she had been living a double life and I was the last to know. I started questioning everything, my judgment, my trust, even myself. I knew I had to do something concrete. I couldn't keep living in limbo, waiting for her to explain or maybe even apologize. I started making plans to move out, to get my own place. I talked to a lawyer just to understand what my options were and set some things in motion. I needed to get out of that house, away from her toxicity. The thought of staying in the same space, seeing her every day, made me feel sick. I wanted distance, physical and emotional. I needed to heal, and I knew I couldn't do that with her around. Meanwhile, she kept acting like nothing happened. She'd come home, act bitchy or dismissive, and then go on with her life as if she hadn't just thrown everything away. She'd brush past me like I was some inconvenience, like I was the one overreacting. It made me realize how little she cared about what she'd done to me. She was good at pretending, at gaslighting me into thinking I was the crazy one. But I saw through it now. Every time she lied, I felt that cold fury grow inside me. One day I came home to find her in the living room, sitting on the couch, scrolling through her phone. She looked up and gave me that same bitchy smirk. I couldn't stand it anymore. I told her I was done playing her games. I told her I'd gone to see a lawyer, that I was filing for divorce, and that I was moving out as soon as I found a place. Her reaction. She threw her head back and laughed, that fake, dismissive laugh she's so good at. "Oh, you're really serious about this, huh? You're just making a big deal out of nothing, Mike. You think you're going to find someone better," she sneered. That was the moment I realized how much she despised me, how little she cared about what I felt. She kept smirking, acting like she was the one in control. I could tell she was trying to push me into giving up, into feeling guilty or weak, but I'd had enough. I looked her dead in the eyes and told her she could keep her lies and her games. I was done with the bullshit. I told her I'd be gone soon and she could do whatever she wanted, call it a victory if she wanted, but I was done playing her game. I think that day was a turning point. I finally accepted that she didn't want me, didn't respect me, and never really loved me. She just used me, manipulated me, and now she was trying to make me feel like I was the one in the wrong. But I knew better. I knew I deserved better than someone who would cheat and lie and then mock me when I found out. I was sick of feeling small, of feeling like I'd been played for a fool. I'd let her run her mouth, call me insecure all she wanted, but I was finally taking control of my life. The emotional pain is still there, yeah, but it's different now. It's not just heartbreak. It's anger, betrayal, and a weird sense of liberation. I can't say I'm happy about what happened, but I'm glad I faced it head on. I learned that sometimes, people you love and trust can turn out to be someone entirely different behind closed doors. And no matter how much you want to believe in fairy tales, sometimes you've got to face the ugly truth. The only way forward is to accept it and move on. I'm still figuring out what that looks like, but one thing's clear. I won't be a fool again. It's been about a week since I told her I'm leaving, and honestly, things are still a mess in my head. I've been packing, talking to lawyers, trying to arrange a new place, basically trying to piece my life back together. Every moment I spend alone, I keep thinking about everything she did, how she lied, how she betrayed me. Part of me feels broken, like I lost a part of myself I'll never get back. But another part, it's angry, furious at her for the way she played me, for the lies, for the manipulations. I never thought I'd be in this position, and I definitely never thought I'd feel so stupid for trusting her. The thing is, her attitude didn't change much. She kept acting bitchy, dismissive, like I was just some inconvenience. She'd throw little jabs here and there, calling me insecure if I asked where she'd been or saying I was overreacting if I got upset about the messages. That fake, snarky tone of hers just made me more furious. I mean, how can someone be so cold and superficial? I'd given her everything, my time, my love, my future, and she threw it all away for some guy she barely knew. It's like she was in some kind of game and I was just the fool she played. One night I went over all the evidence again, her phone, the hotel receipts, her emails. I realized she had been planning this for a long time. She had notes, little details, even a secret folder on her computer. It was obvious she'd been sneaking around behind my back for months and I hadn't even seen it. I kept asking myself, how could I have been so blind? How could I have missed all the signs? The truth is, I trusted her too much. I thought she was just bitchy and impossible to deal with, but she was so much more. She was a damn liar. I remember sitting there, staring at all the evidence, feeling this strange mix of anger and sadness. I'd been through a lot of heartbreak before, but it's different, it's raw and real and leaves you feeling like you've been hit by a truck. I kept telling myself I'd be okay, that I'd move on, but honestly, it's hard to see the light right now. I'm still in shock, still trying to process that the woman I loved and trusted turned out to be that kind of person. It's a bitter pill to swallow. I decided to cut ties completely. No more going back, no more trying to salvage something that's obviously broken beyond repair. I want a clean break, no contact, no regrets. I've set up a new bank account, found an apartment close by, and started planning my move. I don't want to be around her anymore. I want to disconnect from the whole nightmare she created. I know it's going to take time, but I'm determined to rebuild myself piece by piece. What hurts the most isn't just the betrayal. It's the realization that I gave her so much of myself, and she threw it away like it was nothing. Every memory now feels tainted. I used to think she was just difficult, but now I see she's a liar and a cheat, and I was the fool for not seeing it sooner. I keep telling myself I deserve better, that I'll find someone who actually respects me, who values honesty and loyalty. It's a hard lesson, but one I have to learn. At the end of the day, I don't want revenge. I want peace. I want to move forward without her dragging me down. I know I'll find happiness again eventually. I just wish I hadn't wasted so much time on someone who clearly didn't care. Trust is hard to rebuild once it's broken, and right now, I feel pretty shattered. But I'm holding on to the hope that someday, I'll look back at this and see it as a wake-up call, not the end of my story. For now, I keep reminding myself, I'm better off without her. And that's what keeps me going. The hardest part now is facing the reality that I'm starting over at a point in my life where I thought I had everything figured out. It's not easy waking up every morning knowing the woman I loved was capable of such deception and betrayal. I keep asking myself how I let it get this far, how I didn't see the signs, how I didn't protect myself better. But I also realize that some things are beyond control. Trust is fragile, and once broken, it's almost impossible to repair. That's a harsh lesson I had to learn the hard way. The last few days have been a blur. I've moved into my new place, started sorting through the wreckage of my marriage and trying to reclaim my peace. I won't lie, it hurts like hell. I feel angry, betrayed, and wasted. But I also feel a strange sense of relief. It's like I finally took a deep breath and decided enough is enough. I can't keep living in someone else's lie. I can't keep pretending that everything's okay when it's not. I've come to understand that sometimes the greatest act of self-love is walking away. Not out of weakness, but out of strength. I refuse to let her define me or ruin me. I know I'll heal, eventually, and I know I'll find someone who actually values me, who respects honesty, and who understands what loyalty really means. I've realized that I deserve that kind of love, not the fake version she was offering. Looking back, I see clearly now. The lies, the manipulations, her bitchy attitude, all of it was her way of hiding her own insecurities or whatever else she was running from. But that's her problem, not mine. I refuse to carry her baggage anymore. I've learned that sometimes walking away is the only way to save yourself from someone else's bullshit. And I've learned that the truth, no matter how painful, is always better than living a lie. So here I am, finally accepting that this chapter is closed. I'll always carry the scars, but I won't let them define me. Life goes on. I will rebuild what I've lost stronger and wiser. And I'll never let anyone deceive me like that again. Because sometimes the greatest revenge is simply living well without them. Moving forward, trusting myself again, and never letting someone's lies break me entirely. That's what I choose now: truth, resilience, and a hope that someday I'll look back at this and say I came out stronger.